you're just joining, first of all, this laundry room has come a long way. It doesn't look like much now, but it looked a lot different before, just, you know, a few short weeks ago. But anyway, so I hopefully this works. This is sort of, I can always fix things, so I'm like not that concerned about it. But I got the thickest plywood that I could, so that it would be rigid enough for me to layer concrete over this. So this is gonna end up being a concrete like countertop. So we'll see, fingers crossed it works. Basically the concern is just that if it's too flexible, then the concrete will crack. But I think it'll be okay, and if not, and it does crack, I'll just fix it. And then if it does crack, what we're gonna do is just add a support to the floor here. So we kind of discussed that today, that's why I'm here. But I think it'll be okay. If not, like I said, I'll just fix it. It's no big deal. But I wanted to try to do this as cheaply as possible, because
jumping in real quick here with a little note of caution. So in this part of the video, I'm using a product called Concrete. This is not the best product for this application. I had previously used a different product when I did my bathroom concrete countertops that worked much better, and it was out of stock. So I tried the Concrete. The texture was just not right. So the application of the product is the same, so you can follow along with that. But I just don't want anyone running out and buying Concrete, because there is a better product, which I will discuss in just a few minutes.
potentially have a situation on my hands. It's not dire, but I had to use a different type of concrete than I did in my bathroom. So I wasn't entirely familiar with this Concrete stuff. And I just started, I had been doing other stuff today, so I'm just now getting around to sanding this like newly concreted surface here. And it seems like it's really gritty. I remember the stuff in the bathroom sanding really well and it got really, really smooth. And this, it's like really gritty. So I might end up having to order the other stuff online that I use in the bathroom and layer it over this. But basically, if you are in the process of trying to tackle something similar and you're using my stories, don't. Not yet. Don't run out and buy the Concrete because it might not work. At least as far if you want a really smooth surface. That's the situation currently. Which I was going to need to layer at least one more layer of concrete over this anyway. I don't want to have to do more layers than what I would need because I don't want it to be too heavy. I'm glad that I save a ton of stuff to story highlights because I just watched through my story highlights from when I did my bathroom vanity, concrete vanity, and I found myself to be a pretty good resource. Gwynnie, apparently she was pretty bored with it, but like, so I could see like the texture of the other product that I used. It was totally different. It was like way smoother. And I'm gonna go ahead and order the other stuff. Hopefully I can still find it in stock and use that for the second layer. So if you're planning on tackling this project, don't get the Concrete stuff. Before I get started, I just prepped everything again and cleaned up. But before I get started, I just kind of wanted to show you guys like what I mean as far as this concrete and how it's just not smooth. It's just really coarse. Like it just feels like my sidewalk's like outside. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I just started putting on the Henrys. Holy cow, so much better. This is like basically, it's almost like a whip. The other stuff was like really sandy and gritty. This stuff is going on like butter. So yeah, don't get Quikrete. Spend the extra money and get the Henrys. It goes on so much better. I'm so glad that I didn't bother trying to sand that first layer that I did with the Quikrete. Yes, the Quikrete is much cheaper. However, it doesn't go as far and the texture was terrible compared to this Henry stuff. I'm hardly going to have to do any sanding. It's still drying now, so that's why the color looks kind of funky. The biggest difference was that when I did like this vertical part, the Quikrete was not really wanting to stick. Like I basically just had to use my hands and like rub some on and only half of it stuck. So this Henry stuff is really good for like vertical applications because it sticks really well. Super pleased with this. I can't wait to finish. Yesterday I was a little bit busy, so I didn't get around to sanding my concrete surface back here, so I'm gonna do that today. I actually probably don't have that much sanding to do because the finish was pretty smooth. And I was gonna say, I'm just gonna sand this by hand. So this Henry stuff actually sands really easily. And you don't wanna be too aggressive with it because you don't wanna like sand away all of your layers. Teensy change of plan. When I did the front edge here, the last time I did when I did my third layer, I was like sort of scrounging in the bottom of the bucket to get enough concrete to do the whole front end. So a lot of the pieces were sort of like, you know, already like kind of turning to like a clay-like texture. So it was a little bit like lumpy. And when I was just trying to sand it, I was having to sand away so much concrete to get to like some divots that were in the finish in order to smooth it out. And I just finally was like, why am I doing this? I still have a little bit of concrete left that I can mix up and just a nice fresh coat on the front edge here and smooth it all out. and it took like 5 minutes. So I did that and then I just had like I had a little bit left over, so I had like a couple areas where there were like little divots or like depressions because the surface itself like looks really good. It was just that front edge, and the front edge is like the part that's the most important because that's what you see. So anyway, so it's super smooth now, so it should be easy to finish off and then put the seal on. This is the day after I did my first coat of concrete seal last night, so it's a little bit darker and it's a little shine, has a sheen to it, and it's super smooth. On my bathroom countertop, because I had the whole sink and everything, so because there's water involved, I did probably at least 4 coats of sealant. Since there's going to be no water involved here, I think I can just get away with 2, so I'm going to go ahead and hurry up and roll on the second coat, and then this is done. And I was going to point out, so I had done like patches of concrete, like just to touch up this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot, and this spot. And you can obviously tell. It wasn't as noticeable until I applied the sealant. Concrete can be a little bit temperamental sometimes, especially like when you do start to apply the sealant, because it just kind of reacts with different areas differently.